Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday show. I am sitting here in my studio today, and my good friend, I shouldn't say good friend, somebody that I've known for a long time. He's more than an acquaintance, less than a good friend. I've got so much respect for him as a person from what I've seen with his work with the Skydiggers over the last 30 years. Andy Maize is here, and welcome to the show, Andy. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Ken. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. The weather's changed a little bit, so we have some sunlight, which is really nice. And I
Always.
find that the sun, well, it's turned a little gray now, but earlier today we had sunshine. And if I can look out and see the sun, my day is way better. I don't know
Well, we
why.
have the in August we have the dog days of summer, and this time of year is the dog. I consider the dog days of winter.
It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. The one thing that I'm noticing that I'm starting to really get excited about is, I have a pretty tight schedule here at the house with Allison and everything, and dinner happens to, it has to be on the table at a certain time. So I'm very much in a schedule on when my nap happens. And, I'm usually, if I do lie down for a nap, I try and be up at 5:30, quarter to 6 to have dinner on the table for 6:30. And the last couple of days, waking up at that time, it's still daylight out. And that's been amazing.
That's a nice feeling.
It's a really nice feeling.
Yeah,
Yes.
the days are getting longer.
They are.
Yeah.
The days are getting longer. And yourself and me are at a point in our life where we have so much behind us and still so much ahead of us, which is kind of new because I feel like we're part of the first generation of, I don't want to say the word rock star, but I want to say the word, I'd like to come up with a word that sort of encapsulates what we've done. We've made music publicly for 25 or 30 years to a commercial audience. So what I was really curious to hear from you today, somebody that's been doing it for so long, and not only as a musician and a front person, but also you helped create a record company, a Canada-wide Maple Music. You've been in the business on so many levels. And you are now 65, is that correct?
Uh, what year is it?
It's 226.
26. I'm 66.
You're 66. Okay.
I'm
So at
getting my
60,
kicks on Route 60.
there you go. At 66, how are you finding it? How are you finding it still doing it? And what do you miss about sort of the way it used to be? And what are you excited about for, sort of continuing to do what you're doing in this day and age? I know that's a really long intro to a question.
I'm not sure if I'm going to directly answer your question, but I will say that when Josh and I started out 40 years ago playing together, uh, we were coming out of bands that had played live shows, and basically we couldn't play a song unless we had the full setup.
Right.
So we decided we wanted to take it right back, strip everything right back to an acoustic guitar and two voices so that we could go and play anywhere, anytime for anyone.
Right.
And that's always been a part of, for the last 40 years, of how I make music.
Hmm.
In that it sometimes the bells and whistles are nice, but they're not necessary.
Right.
Uh, so I still I think of what we do as being, we're not reinventing the wheel. We never set out to reinvent the wheel. We set out hopefully to be another spoke in the wheel of uh, of music that we loved, roots-based music.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, Hank Williams, the Delmore Brothers, Doc Watson, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Clash. We took in everything
Yeah.
that we experienced and that we loved. The Byrds, REM. I mean, REM changed my whole outlook towards making music and being in a band. The band I was in, Directive 17, we liked psychedelic furs. the Jam, early U2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard REM and all of the singing going on, the counter melodies, the honesty of it.
Yeah.
And I fell in love.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that.
I really like what you said about stripping it down to something that, you know, you and Josh could take anywhere. And you and Josh Finlayson, you have been doing this for as long as I know, and I've probably seen you as a duo with Josh more than I've seen the Diggers over the years.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
There's not a rhythm section to hide behind, or you really know if the songs work or not.
Yeah, when I first started going out and doing like solo shows, just putting together the set, just songs that I would always worked with bands, and I'd play it on an acoustic guitar, and I go, this song, there's nothing to this fucking song. This song doesn't work as a song. It's just like,
Yeah.
you realize that, different songs have different strengths. Some songs have the same thing repeated for 3 minutes and people love it. Other times it's a 9-minute narrative that, if you mistake the tense of a verb, you lose the whole song. Those things can be really important.
One of the best shows I've ever seen was Nick Lowe at Lee's Palace.
Wow.
In a rock club, sitting, playing acoustic guitar. This was when he was, I think, just really starting out on this phase of his career. And of course, the back of the room was all bass players.
Yeah.
Basil Donovan was there. I went with Ron Macy. Who else was there? I'm sure Derek Brady was there. Anyway, it was all bass players. But he sat in a rock room with 500 people.
Yeah.
And the pacing, the songs, everything was excellent. The room was dead quiet. Unlike most Toronto rooms where if it's an acoustic act playing, people in the back will be visiting.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best shows I've ever seen, with just a guy with his acoustic.
But a lot of these rooms, it's very difficult to go and find that type of intimacy.
Yeah, well, especially the rock clubs.
Exactly.
They're not flexible as it's people go there. I mean, it's a social gathering as well.
Exactly.
So I don't think I've ever asked an audience to be quiet. I figure that's my job. My job is to make them listen through music.
Yep.
Or the story that I'm telling, not to berate them into because usually when people are talking, it's because they're having a good time.
But your first album came out and it was on a label that sort of had financial issues as you were going through it, and then your next one had a similar thing with the new label, and I think 10 years after your career, you were still having a hard time finding your product, so to speak.
Yeah. The first record came out on a label based out of California called Enigma.
Okay.
And Enigma were a great little label. They had a 3-person office in Canada.
Okay.
Derek Ross, Mark Smith, and Debbie Puck.
Okay.
And so we were their first Canadian signing. And we were very excited because we were going to get a guaranteed US release.
Right.
And the 3 people in Canada, as far as I know, they were the first record label to have, they all had little Macintosh computers.
Yep.
And the 3 of them did the work of about 12 people. They designed their own ads. Derek did radio promotion. Debbie did all the distribution stuff. It was great. And Enigma was a cool little label.
Yeah.
I forget some of the acts. There's I think a Christian rock band called Striper.
Oh yeah, I remember Striper.
Who dressed in black and yellow. They kind of look like bumblebees. And there's the Dead Milkmen.
Yeah.
I think was another. Anyway, it was a cool little label who sort of worked college radio.
Right.
but they got involved with, I think it was either Capitol or Warner, and they gave them a boatload of money, and they signed David Cassidy, who was not kind of part of the ethos of the company, I would say.
Right.
Because they wanted to go from, being a kind of a college radio darling record label,
Yeah.
to actually making big money through David Cassidy. So they poured a ton of money into David Cassidy and basically bankrupted the label.
That's what happened. Wow.
Yeah, so we were without a label for about a year, and then DMD formed, which was Derek, Mark, and Debbie. So they were let go by Enigma,
Right.
and they started their own label. So our second and third records came out on DMD.
Okay.
And then that relationship ended, and we signed with Warner Music Canada. Kim Cook signed us.
Yes. Okay.
And that was a great time for, I think, for roots Canadian music. Warner had a roster with Blue Rodeo, Spirit of the West, Bare Naked Ladies, the Waltons.
Oh yeah.
I'm missing somebody. I'm sorry. Whoever I've missed, I apologize.
I
But
think Weeping Tile had an album out on Warner as well.
they did.
Yeah.
They did. And this was all, Kim kind of brought everyone together. Oh, Odds.
Yes.
Odds. Yeah.
That's it.
And it was kind of a golden time. So we put out one record with Warner, Road Radio. And then Peter Cash decided he just didn't like touring.
Right.
And that's basically all we did. So that was the end of the Warner relationship. And since then, we've made and released our own albums. So since 1997.
So you've been doing it DIY for 30 years.
Yes.
After sort of a 12-year stretch with labels.
About 6 years. 7 years. Yeah.
Now,
and the landscape has changed so much.
well, that's what I was going to say. People don't understand when you said, like when you say things like they did their own ads, talking about the early record company, we're talking about people like cutting out pieces of paper that have been printed and laying them on artboards to like spell out words and stuff. There was no Photoshop. Corel Draw and stuff were just coming around, but only the professional illustrators were using those.
Yeah.
Like I was even working at Music Express magazine in like as late as 1991 or 92. And the art department was still, cutting and gluing things on, just like for typefacing.
Yeah.
So people have no idea what we talk about when we talk about 40 years ago, sort of working in a record company. Like it was fax machines and telephones.
Yes.
There was no internet. There was no send me a photo of this. So there was no, I think about the world of videos, how video killed the radio star and now internet is killing the video star and everything else. Like back in those days, we would do videos. I mean, I remember the Watchmen doing videos like closing down part of 2 blocks of Bay Street for like 2 days to shoot like these epic scenes with nobody on them. Like, I don't know where we got the money to do this stuff. Like, we did. And I know one of your later videos, like Andrew McNaughton shot it and then, sort of set a scene outside of a bridge and stuff. I've worked with Andrew a bunch as a photographer and he did some stuff with the Watchmen as well. Brilliant. But he was not cheap in those days. And when you think about the money that we spent on those video concepts and the amount of time that went into them and what we got out of them comparatively to what people are doing on the internet nowadays, generating their own content, shooting their own videos, sometimes 2-3 times a week. It's how do you feel about that? And how does somebody with your experience deal with it?
I think it's amazing. Yeah. I think it's amazing that the tools of creativity and production have been democratized. I think that's amazing. I know when we released our first album, I don't think we were keen on making videos. We didn't get into music to make videos.
Right.
But our second video, which was for "I Will Give You Everything," built a career for us.
Yes.
The video and the radio play for that song, to this day, keeps. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So I don't know what to. At that time, I was offended that our second video cost as much to produce as the album did.
Yeah.
I thought that is, I want the money to be spent on the music. But,
that was the time.
That was the time, and that worked.
Yeah. Yeah, our marketing budget was as big as the recording budget. It was
at least. Yeah.
That was if not more. And but you would see, I remember seeing results. I remember joining the Watchmen and, the band going from, I just remember sort of before the record came out, like there was billboards up, along the DVP in Toronto and then in Winnipeg and Calgary. I was just like, and then the record came out and it was just like, suddenly everybody was there. And it was because of the marketing. Marketing worked back then.
Sure. Well, you had a certain path that you would follow when you were promoting something. And mainstream media still had record reviewers, had critics, and that's all changed. Ken.
Hey, Ken.
Whiskey Wednesday.
Blue Railroad Train, Delmore Brothers. Blue railroad train, I'm going down the railroad track. Makes me feel so doggone blue to listen to that old smokestack. Drive is rolling on, leaving me here behind. Give me back the good old days, let me ramble down the line. Blue railroad train, leaving me here alone. You treat me good, you treat me bad, you're making me think of home. I hear the lonesome train, I love to hear the whistle blow. He's taking the sun and leaving the rain, making me wanna go. Long for company. It's many miles where I am to the only one for me. It's so lonesome here, waiting for the manifest. I hope that engineer is kind enough to let me be his guest. Blue railroad train, a good old pal to me. Take me everywhere I wanna go, get my transportation free. Take me everywhere I wanna go, get my transportation free. Take me everywhere I wanna go, get my transportation free.
I think what's happened now is, the thing that Josh and I struggle with is social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, we didn't start playing music to make social media.
Right.
So we're reluctant participants, but also realize that the landscape has changed and we have to participate.
Yeah.
So that has been a challenge, and that's something that we're constantly discussing and trying to do in a way that is authentic to us and not to make ourselves look silly.
But now there's a permanence and an impact to everything we do.
Yeah.
You can grab your acoustic guitar and do a live stream, and a song you played 1,000 times perfectly, and make a mistake or screw up a word that sort of makes something meme quality, and all of a sudden you're famous for some stupid thing that happened. It's a scary time and place.
It is, and it's certainly changed the way that people enjoy or appreciate things, because the anonymity of posting on social media lets people say things that they would never say to someone in person.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a meanness that can occur. And I'm just talking about music. Obviously, in other places, it's far more dangerous than just being mean. It actually is.
It's a bit of a minefield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is. Which is why I'm not on social media at all.
I noticed that actually.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what brought me around to wanting to talk to you about this, just because I'm curious. You've got yourself, who's been doing, professionally doing music for 40 odd years, and you have been, like I mentioned earlier, you've been a member of so many aspects of the music business. I don't think that there's any aspect that you have not been a part of in this time. Yet when I sort of thought, I better sort of see what's been happening with the Skydiggers. I'm going to be talking with Andy. I better sort of take a look at the history. And I could find a lot, but even your social media, like you have no social media under your name that I could find. The band has its social media.
Yeah.
And but even with the band's social media, the majority of it is you talking about being in a town and making a tour announcement. And then there's
it's not me.
And stuff. It's not you?
Occasionally I will write something and I'll send, we have management who do those posts. Okay. But I will write things occasionally.
Okay.
And ask them to post it to our band's social media.
Right.
And I did set up an Instagram page about 6 years ago, but I've never done anything. I've got a nice photo.
What was I looking at today? There was you with your baseball hat and your glasses on, talking about upcoming shows. It was like there was.
Oh, I do that occasionally.
You do those? Okay, yeah, I did see.
I do that, and once again, I do that and send it to
them, to
our management, who then post it. Because I don't know how to do it.
Now, I'm only laughing because I have a lot of friends like you.
Yeah.
Now, do you scroll social media? Do you are you a lurker? No.
I really enjoy YouTube.
Okay.
Which I listen to either some political podcast, Canadian political podcasts, whether it's Peter Mansbridge talking with. I love Chantal Hébert. I think as a Canadian political commentator, I think she's brilliant. Yeah, and then I love all the old music clips.
That's where I'm getting sucked in.
Yeah,
and they're still coming out. People like, I just found this old footage in my basement, and I just translated it, and it's just like, Minor Threat from their third show. It's just like,
and then it's 2 hours later, right?
Yeah.
2 hours later, and you're watching, little Stevie Wonder play drums.
It's amazing, and starting to find out who played with who before. Like, what was I reading about the other day? Somebody, and they had been with Susie in the band. Oh, Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious played drums with Susie and the Banshees.
I didn't know that.
it was a short-lived thing, but yeah, there's one recorded set that they did where they did like an hour-long improv with Sid Vicious on drums. There's a picture. Yeah, it's like all these weirdly interesting things. You and Josh had an album that you put out years ago. I can't remember where it was. I saw you. It might have been at West Bend, or maybe it was something that I can't remember. But you guys just put out an album called Dark Hollow, which was out on CD. And I brought it home and I fell in love with it.
Oh, thank you.
Totally, like it turned me on to so much of that music that I hadn't even yet really discovered bluegrass the way I did several years later. But listening to that record, beautiful songwriting, beautiful structure, just the way that you and Josh presented it was incredible. What Man Could is one of my favorite all-time songs. But also there was a song called Stranger. Stranger was on that album, right?
I Was a Stranger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
was a Jimmy Rogers song.
I was going to ask, because that was the first time I'd ever heard that, and I started playing it, and I've been playing it for years, and I was wondering if it was part of the Jimmy Rogers. Was that part of his collection of yodel tunes?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what we call it. I Was a Stranger. It could have been Blue Yodel number 9 or.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I've been just calling it Stranger for years.
And we learned it from a Doc Watson record.
Excellent.
So yeah, Dark Hollow we made with Michael Timmins from Cowboy Junkies.
Yes.
And we keep talking. We have to put it up on on streaming services. We just haven't done that. Nor the next record we made, I believe, was with the Cash Brothers, and that's not up on social media either.
And you have one. You have another one. Do you have another one coming out? Were you saying you had another record that you were?
We have a because it is the 40th anniversary this year of Josh and me, or I. Mother, don't strike me.
Josh and I believe.
Yeah, Josh and I, we started out when we were a duo. We called ourselves West Montrose.
Okay.
Which is a little community outside of Guelph, which has the last covered bridge in Ontario.
Ah.
So, we thought, that's fantastic. We're playing old songs, so we'll go and pose for photos by a covered bridge.
Okay.
So we have made a new recording of some traditional songs, acoustic re-records of some early Skydigger songs, and we're calling the album West Montrose. And we made it with Jimmy Boskill from Blue Rodeo at his studio. We were there for a couple of days. His studio just north of Coburg, Ontario. Well, it was wonderful recording because he and Josh play together.
Yeah.
And it's all that if you want to hear the rhythm of the Skydiggers, it's in Josh Finlayson's right hand.
Yeah. He
has such a great sense of rhythm, amongst other things. But there's no click tracks or anything. It's just two guys playing, and then some of the singing is live, not all of it, but the guitars, and sometimes Jimmy would play the mandolin,
nice.
Or a tenor guitar, but that's all.
Wow.
Done.
Well, I look forward to that, and the other ones as well. I look forward to. I love those, like you said, that stripped down element. I really, really, I don't know. It's just part of what I like. I guess I'm always attracted to that. All my favorite artists. That's the stuff that I tend to go to. Is their more stripped down stuff. Diggers, if you can just bring me and the people watching up to speed on who the current lineup is, where you are. You're at album 20 now or 19?
I'm not sure.
Somewhere in there.
When you add in live recordings and that sort of thing. We must be close to 20.
Yeah. And who's the current lineup? It's been you. You and Josh have been there from the start.
Yes, we started the band.
Yeah. And there's been I wouldn't say revolving group of musicians, but over the course of 40 years, you do tend to move through musicians.
Absolutely. Noel Webb plays drums, and he's been playing drums with us for 20 years.
Okay, yeah.
So Michael Johnston plays keyboards. He's been playing with us for almost 20 years.
Okay.
Derek Brady plays bass with us now,
Mm-hmm.
as well as John Dinsmore when Derek's not available. Ron Macy retired in 2012, and then Derek took up the bass mantle.
Right.
Aaron Como
Mm-hmm.
plays guitar, and he's been playing with us for, I would say, maybe pre-pandemic, maybe 7-8 years.
Okay.
And the fabulous Jesse Bill Smith has been singing with us for about 16 or 17 years.
So the lineup has been consistent for almost a couple decades.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Wonderful band.
I mean, I'm assuming you're not doing the sort of 11 till 2 in the morning gigs anymore, like you probably did when you were doing the bars in your 20s.
No, it's a blessing that we start usually around 8 o'clock now.
And that's usually about where we are too, and I love it.
Yeah.
But still, even once 11 o'clock hits, I start thinking, oh. And I do the consideration, it's not necessarily was it worth it. It's just like, what did I get? And how do I feel? And it's always the music and the people that I'm with that give me the sense of, yeah, this was absolutely worth every second of energy that I don't feel I have right now.
Yeah.
How does that go for you?
I figure that, the time on stage I would do for free.
Yeah.
What you get paid for is all the hanging around, all the grind of the traveling and being away from those people that you love.
Right.
And that's what I figure I get paid for. The music, as long as the music is a joy, I will continue. Josh and I have said we'll keep doing it until nobody comes to the shows. And so, so far, so good.
And I would imagine years and years from now, if there's nobody coming, you and Josh will still be sitting around with an acoustic guitar playing songs. I mean,
absolutely,
that's never going to end, and that is the beauty of it. And I think that what you've just said kind of sums up how I feel the attitude that's come out of the Skydiggers camp has been since I started hearing about you when I was still a kid in Newfoundland before I even came to Toronto. A teenager. But it's always been just such a positive, joyous thing. And everything about the music, even though it's sort of at times emotional and sad and sentimental, there's just a beauty and a joy there, which is, it's such a lovely thing. It's such a lovely thing. Yeah,
Thank you
for all of your years, a lifetime of dedication to, bringing Canada and the rest of the world, the music that you guys have. It's really, really, really special stuff.
Thank you.
What do you got going on for the summer now? Do the Skydiggers have a bunch of any big shows coming up?
Not a lot lined up. We're releasing this new record in June, and Aaron Como and I have made a record that we started about 3.5 years ago when Aaron was still living in Charlottetown.
Okay.
So I went down for a week. We wrote some songs. His next door neighbor, Adam Gallant, has a studio in his garage. So we walked literally one house over and recorded there. And so we're just releasing that record in the next 2 weeks. And we're going to do a month of Wednesdays from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. in the front room at the Cameron House.
Oh, and for anybody who hasn't been to the Cameron House, it is a fantastic place to go and hear some of the best music that's coming out of Toronto. Not only the musicians on stage, but in the crowd, you will find all these great musicians hanging out. It's always a free show. It's a pass the hat. So make sure to bring yourself a tenner and tuck it in your back pocket, put it into the hat when it comes around. Well, Andy, thank you for taking your time. man.
Ken, a real
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Is there anything that going on in your life that you wanted to announce or talk about, or have we just kind of covered everything?
I think we've covered. I'm sure in a couple of hours I'll go. But no, it's a real pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you very much. And for those of you just tuning in and catching the end, I'm sitting here with Andy Maize, the singer and one of the composers for the Skydiggers, and also for the Finlayson Maize project, which I recommend checking out once they get that stuff online.
That's right.
Thanks again for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Take care, Ken.
Cheers.
All right.
Passing through your town. Well, I was a stranger passing through your town. When I asked you for a favor, good Lord, you turned me down. Honey, I'm so lonesome, I don't know what to do. Honey, I'm so lonesome, I don't know what to do. The way you treat me, sweet baby, I hope you're lonely too. Well, if you see me walking, hear me talking by that railway track. If you see me walking, hear me talking by that railway track. You can bet your life, sweet mama, I won't be coming back. Well, I rode the Southern, I rode the Illinois. I rode the Southern, I rode the Illinois. If the police don't get me, I'll ride them again. Well, please, Mr. Brickman, don't put me off your train. Well, Mr. Brickman, don't put me off your train. 'Cause it sure looks cold, and I think it's gonna rain. 1, 2, 3. Let's just hang there for a second. Let me catch my breath. Thank you all again for watching the Whiskey Wednesday show. I'm gonna morph into a little Clash tune now to send you all on your merry way. I'm running, police on my back. I've been hiding, police on my back. There was a shooting, police on my back. And the victim, he ain't coming back. I've been running Monday, Tuesday, give me all that speed I like, 'cause I'm running, police on my back. I've been running Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I've been running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Suzanne Westall, thank you very much. Great show like always. That's very nice to hear. Steve Ostolfalo, thank you very much. Ron, I'm going to give you a little clue here. What camera are we on right now, Allison? This one here in front of me?
Yes.